Welcome back and welcome to my reading vlog and wrap up for the Bout of Books Readathon. The Bout of Books Readathon takes place 3 times a year, and this was the third one of 2018. I have taken part in, I think, all of them since about Readathon 9. I may have missed out one, and this year I was a Bout of Books expert as well, so I was commenting on other people's blog posts, tweets and Instagram posts to offer encouragement and look at their amazing books they were reading and amazing progress. I will leave a timestamp in the description box below. If you are just interested in my wrap up, you can skip the vlog and go straight to there. If you are interested in other reading vlogs that I have made, I will leave a link to that playlist up here so you can go and check those out, because I've made various different reading vlogs, daily reading, weekly reading and readathon vlogs, so you get to see me reading in my natural habitat. And yeah, I will leave you with my vlog, as I say, link timestamp below if you want to click straight across to the wrap up. But yeah, I had a great week, as you will see. It is Bout of Books day 1. In case you haven't seen my blog post, my TBR for this Bout of Books is basically to knock some stuff off of my August TBR, so the bits that are still left on my August TBR. We've had 2 full weeks in August and 1 half week in August, so there's quite a lot left on my August TBR. I am doing a buddy read this week as well, which I'm going to start this morning. But first, obviously, I need to make my coffee, and I just need to sort out today's video, which is it's almost ready to go, but I just need to put the links and bits like that in. So I'm going to do that, have some breakfast, and then I might go and do some reading outside. Why not? It's nice and sunny. I've got the day. Why not? In case you were wondering, this mug is Enchanted Fandom, and I will leave a 10% discount code in the description box below. So my first read of the readathon is Sorority by Geneveive Crane. I am doing this as a buddy read. I'm very excited about this one, and I have my coffee and I have my breakfast. So, ooh, it's got a contents page. That's so cool. So cool. I've heard amazing things about this one. Oh, it's got pledge classes as well. Wow. Awesome. So I'm going to have my coffee, eat my bagel, read my book. Sorry I didn't update again yesterday. I just got really busy. So I read some of Sorority outside. I'm halfway through that one. I listened to The Future of Us by Jay Asher and Carolyn Mackler. I'm about halfway through that one as well. I got halfway through 2 books. I took part in the Twitter chat, that's the word. I did the Instagram challenge, so make sure you are following me on Instagram so you can see my challenges from the week. And I just posted my day 1 update and day 2 challenge. Day 2 is book emoji, so I'm going to do that on social media somewhere because emojis are easier on there than putting them on the blog. I also went and saw a movie, but as my usual habit is to do, I of course listened to my audiobook right up until the movie began. I mean, I'm talking like I listened through the opening credits as well. I don't do the opening credits. I'm like, I will watch the movie when the movie begins. And yeah, I needed to do some video stuff yesterday, so I ended up staying up quite late because my film was at 9:20, so I didn't get here till nearly midnight. Oh, the coffee. I'm volunteering at the library this morning, and then I will see how I'm feeling depending on what my afternoon looks like. And as always, on Tuesday we have trivia in the evening, so I'll probably be taking my book there with me as well, so I can get some reading done in there. But yeah, because I'm out and about in the car this morning, it's about a half-hour drive to the library from where I live, and so that means because I listen on double speed, I will get another hour of audiobook to listen to. And this is quite a short audiobook. I'm quite surprised I didn't finish it yesterday, but I think if I'd driven myself to the movie theatre, I maybe would have finished it, but I didn't, so I didn't. Yeah, I will take you with me today, and we'll see where the day takes us. So I haven't been having the best reading day so far. I've read in the car, which means that I'm very, very close to finishing the end of my audiobook. So I'm going to listen to the end of that audiobook, and if it finishes, then I'm going to start the next audiobook whilst doing my coupons. And then I'm going to go back out again, and if I go back out in time to get to the library to allow myself some reading time, hopefully I will read a little bit more Sorority. Well, I went book shopping, so naturally I thought I would take you with me, and yes, I did buy something. Book haul coming soon. Well, it's Wednesday evening and we just got in from dinner. I've had a bit of a shopping day. I did a bit of reading at the start of the day, did a bit of reading over lunch, and I obviously listened to my audiobook in the car, so I've done bits of reading. I started a new audiobook and I am intending on finishing Sorority before bed. But yeah, we've just been out to dinner and I just really felt like shopping today, and I haven't done shopping for a while, so got some shoes, got a foot mask, got some birthday presents. Not a lot of reading in there. I was in a bookshop, which you'll have seen. Did not buy a book for me, did buy a world map, and did buy a fridge magnet. So yeah, this whole vlog bit could have just turned into a haul basically, but it's after midnight in the UK, which means I can put today's new releases reviews on Amazon, so I'm going to go away and do that. So I have my coffee. It's always such a pain having to take Ollie to work and come back before I can come and get on with my day. But I mean, silver lining is I get to listen to some audiobook in the car, and there was some construction, so that was a little bit longer. But yeah, I really need some breakfast, but now I've got the coffee, I sat down. You should never sit down. Yeah. So the audiobook that I'm listening to, I don't know what it is with the books that I'm reading this week. Like a top tip, pick books that you're really excited about reading and that, you know, you like during a readathon. If you're not liking a book, leave it and come back to it another time. During a readathon isn't the time to be struggling through books you're not a fan of. And even though I am enjoying Save the Date, I have missed something in it. Like, I'm listening and they keep mentioning this thing and I'm not sure what it is. I don't want to give any spoilers away, obviously. And it's not the wedding. It's obvious from the cover that there's a wedding. But I'm just like, they keep mentioning this thing and I don't know what it is. And I don't want to go back and start again. I don't want to do that. Don't make me do that. It's just, oh man. The ebook that I'm reading, I'm not into yet, but I've only read 10% of it. So, ooh, it's got dark suddenly. Yeah, I've only read 10% of it. So I'm going to persevere with it a little longer over my breakfast. And if it's not grabbing me, I am going to put it to one side to come back to and pick up something else from this massive stack of books over here that I'm not going to show you. So we are heading out, going to a book event, which I will be vlogging. So yes, unless I am vlogging, is this video going to be in my Bout of Books readathon or the event? Maybe both. How exciting. Going to Tattered Cover and get some books signed. And we're back at the library again. I've probably got about half an hour reading time as soon as I get off filming this, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna see how much I can get read in half an hour. I did a reading sprint earlier on Twitter and in half an hour I read, what did I say, 15%? No, yeah, round about, or 11%, something like that. 11% I think, so I can get that done, definitely. So this is me and the lovely Kelly DeVos at Tattered Cover, the vlog of which will be up on my channel very soon. Well, it's day 6 of Bout of Books. I didn't vlog anything yesterday because yesterday I woke up with a migraine, so I didn't do any actual physical reading. I did manage to sort of get out for a little bit in the afternoon. The painkillers started to kick in then, and I actually ended up finishing my audiobook. So I finished Save the Date, so that is book 3 finished. Normally by this point, at the end of day 5, I'd have 5 books finished, but it's been a tough week. The reads that I've picked, didn't pick quite the right reads, but day 6 is also what I thought. I got my dates all mixed up. I thought it was the start of the Owl Crate readathon as well, which is to read an Owl Crate book. And I have only had 2 Owl Crates. I know that Save the Date, I think, was one of their Owl Crate reads. So technically, I read that yesterday. But I've only had 2 Owl Crates, and the first Owl Crate I had, I'd already read the book. But the second one, which just came, which I did an Instagram story, not an Instagram story, IGTV for, so you can go and watch that unboxing, or it'll be coming up on this channel I think next week. The second one was Grace and Fury, and I've heard really good things about it, and I'm like, it's shorter than the other books on my TBR, and it's something completely different from the other books that I've been reading. So I think I'm going to start this one today. I'll see how I get on. I will let you know how I get on. It's already lunchtime here on Saturday because naturally, having had a migraine yesterday, I have the migraine hangover today. So I did a little bit of reading of my ebook, but again, I'm still struggling with that a little bit. I'm almost at 60%, so I'm hoping to get that finished this weekend. But the other 2 books that I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to read those this week, might not get read, but I'm going to see if I can tackle this one today. We'll see how we get on. So in that little reading section, I read 30 pages and I went, ooh. So yeah, it's good so far. 30 pages in, it's alright. I've just been doing some reading sprints on Twitter, taking part in a couple and hosting a couple, and because I've been, solidly concentrating and sprinting, I am now 190 pages into this book from doing a couple of 25-minute sprints and an hour sprint. So I've read this book for like 2 to 2.5 hours, and I'm like nearly done with it. It's got like 100 pages left. Really enjoying it as well. It's different and it's quite a quick read. I don't have to like fully concentrate on who's who because there's 2 main characters and a couple of other people surrounding them. I found so many books recently where there are too many characters to keep track of, and it's exhausting, and it's put me into like a total not a reading slump, but just with a bit of a negative attitude towards reading. I'm going to do yesterday's update because I haven't posted that yet on account of all the sleeping because of the migraine. But yeah, gonna do that. Normally I would listen to an audiobook whilst doing that, but I need to start a new audiobook, and I feel like I want to give the new audiobook my full attention. So I'm just gonna quickly do my update, and then I think I'm gonna change reading location. I've changed reading genre, so now I'm gonna change reading location. I might go and have a little read on the bed, not in the bed, because you know reading in the bed means going to sleep. So yeah, seems like I've done no updates, and then day 6 I'm like update, but maybe I'll cut some of this out, who knows. You know when your book has like 20 pages left and you worry that it's not enough time for everything to resolve itself? I'm really worried about how this is going to end. I'd like a happy ending, please. I need a happy ending. So it finished. That's all I'm going to say. It finished, and I need to know what happens next. I need the next book. I need it now. So as you know, the ultimate Readathon accessory is a bubble bath. So I am going to get in this lovely bubble bath and read my Kindle. I'm going to do a little bit of audiobook, a little bit of face mask, a little bit of bubbles, a little bit of Kindle. It's going to be good. So it is the final day of Bout of Books, and I have 25% of my Kindle book left to read, which I'm definitely going to finish because I wanted to finish this like a week ago. And then I have about 300 pages of my current audiobook left to finish, and I have the physical book as well as the audiobook, so I can always switch between the two if I want to, but that equates to about 6 hours because I listen on double speed. So I think we can achieve our goals, and that'll be nearly everything I wanted to read this week, so that's not too bad. I'm feeling positive. I think because I had such a good reading day yesterday, because I switched genres, I think that was what I needed to do at that point. And yeah, that book was 311 pages, and I just whisked right through that, as well as starting my audiobook and reading 100 pages of that, and also reading like 30% of my Kindle book, which equates to about 125 pages of that. So like yesterday was a good reading day. Today's a bit busier being out and about, whereas yesterday I was just in all day, but still I think we could do it. We have all the coffee. So we've just got back from dinner. There's a couple of hours left in the readathon. I'm gonna listen to some audiobook whilst doing some bits, and then maybe settle down into bed with the last of my ebook. Hopefully hopefully I will get there, or finish the audiobook and start finishing the ebook. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I'll let you know. Well, I literally finished listening to that audiobook at 2 minutes past midnight, so it still counts. It still counts. And I spotted a mistake in it. Very, very exciting. So now it's time for me to tell you what I read. It's literally end of the readathon. This is what I read. The first book that I finished during the readathon was The Future of Us by J. Asher and Carolyn Mackler. I obviously have read 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher, and I enjoyed The Earth, My Butt and Other Big Round Things by Carolyn Mackler, which I have reviewed in my plus size diversity video, which I will link up here. And yes, this is now going to my lovely friend Hayley. And then the second book that I finished in the readathon was the one that was a real slog. Well, one of the two that was a real slog, and that is Sorority by Geneveive Crane. This one was just, I don't know, like, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It dealt with a lot of dark material, like a lot of dark material, so this has trigger warnings for just about everything, so make sure that you know that if you're going to decide to pick it up. It was also very, very disjointed. It felt like a series of short stories that had a connection between them, so all these different people in the sorority, and you get a guide at the beginning as to the different pledge classes, but it also has a contents page, which is kind of odd for a fiction book as well. But yeah, you get a guide to like the people and what they did, what year they pledged. But even though I kept kind of flicking back to that, wasn't so good. And I did this as buddy read with my friend Jenna, and she kind of felt the same as me. But yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with the writing, wasn't anything specifically like wrong with the book, but it just felt very disjointed. I didn't really care about these characters because you never got any depth to them, you never got to really know them. So yeah. Then the third book that I finished was an audiobook. This was the audiobook that I listened to after I finished The Future of Us. The Future of Us I finished on like day one. So then I started listening to this one, and I listened to this for kind of the rest of the week, and it was my saviour on Friday, because on Friday I woke up with a migraine and listened to this one, the end of this one, and Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This is my first Morgan Matson book. For somebody who loves a cute young adult romance, this is my first Morgan Matson book. I do own other Morgan Matson books, and I have, I believe, downloaded another one of hers on audiobook from the library and then didn't end up listening to it, so I was glad I listened to this one. I bought it on Audible, and then I got the hardback on hold from the library. This one felt like it was a story surrounding a disastrous wedding, but it felt like very much a book for those who are about to either move from one school to another school, so like middle school to high school, or from high school to college, or maybe even about to move from college to something else, and kind of like moving forward, and very much kind of moving out of home as well. So this is very much that message of keep looking forward, you know, it will happen. Keep looking at the future, and also value your family. And then there was some hilarious bits in here as well. Anything that could go wrong with this wedding went wrong with this wedding. Then, because I was a little bit stuck, because I then started an ebook of The Adults, which I started on Monday and took me right up until tonight to finish. And it's just, I was trying to read bits of it and then I would get distracted. Thankfully I had some good audiobooks to fall back on. I then took part in the Owl Crate-a-thon that they announced just during the week that they were doing this weekend. And I had just received my Owl Crate and filmed my unboxing, so that is coming up soon. And the book that I got in this, I've only received 2 owl crates. So their challenge was to read a book, one book over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the second challenge, there was only 2 challenges. The second challenge was to read a book in a genre you wouldn't normally read. So the second book that I got from Owl Crate, the first book I got from Owl Crate I had already read. The second book I hadn't read, and it was outside a genre that it was a genre I didn't normally read, and it wasn't that long, and I thought stepping out of the books that were kind of bogging me down a little bit in the week, and also stepping out of my genre comfort zone would probably be good for the readathon. And I was right, because I read this whole book on Saturday, as you will see. Grace and Fury is about 2 sisters who, one of them is in a sort of selection style competition to be in with the chance of being the chosen one by the heir, who is obviously royalty, and her sister is her handmaiden, and one of them ends up going forward in the competition, and the other of them ends up basically being arrested and banished, and is very much like feminist. We don't have to put up with the rules that the men have set out for us. We don't have to conform to these stereotypes and these roles that they've set out for us. And the ending of this one, if you've watched the vlog, you will see it just ends, and so I need the next book, and I didn't even know that I was going to read this and be like that. But yeah, this is like dystopian, want to say dystopian, and definitely like, yeah, outside of my reading comfort zone. But yeah, I don't know when the next book of this is out, but it's out. I spoke about the adults. Yeah, the adults is set in a Centre Park style holiday village in Yorkshire, and surrounds these 2 couples who go away. Claire and Matt used to be married. Claire is now with Patrick, Matt is now with Alex, and they go away together for Christmas. Of course, why wouldn't you? Because they want to be together for Scarlett, who is Claire and Matt's daughter. So she's obviously Patrick and Alex's stepdaughter, so it's a blended family thing. And of course, being in the middle of nowhere in a self-contained Centre Park style village, in a small villa, it's going to be a good idea. Yeah, again, it kind of jumps around a little bit, and that's what I found a little bit difficult. There are some real funny moments in it, and there are some real true moments in it that I'm sure other people who have that blended families will recognise. But it's almost like the structure of it is trying to be like Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty, and some of her other books are quite similar to that. So you know something's happened, you don't know how it happened, and you get the background to it happening and it leading up to it, the like 5 days around Christmas, and then you get interspersed police reports and interviews. Yeah, but you don't kind of find out things until right at the end, so it does make it quite slow going. And then I listened to a wonderful audiobook. I wasn't planning on listening to this audiobook, but when it looked like I wasn't going to be able to read the paperback during the week, which I had planned to do, I decided to go on Audible and use one of my credits to buy the audiobook, because then also it supports the author with another sale, obviously. I haven't listened to this author's audiobooks before. I've only read her ebook and paperback books, so it was interesting. There was a mistake left in it that obviously the audiobook editors did not pick up, but it didn't spoil my enjoyment of the book, so that's okay. And that was Bad Twins by Rebecca Chance, and I don't know kind of why I picked this paperback to be part of my reading for the readathon, because it's like 500 pages long, and picking long books in a readathon, I know that that's something that you don't do. I know that I shouldn't do that, but apparently I did. Apparently I picked some quite long books. I'll leave my link to the blog post below, which has all the page numbers in. But yeah, I picked long books this week and I don't know why, but this one was fabulous. It is about a pair of bad twins who are part of, again, a blended family, and basically they're kind of fighting to become the one who takes over their father's company. It's looking like it might go to one of their brothers, but they want it to go to one of them. Both of them have these amazing sort of different lifestyles, and both of them, I don't think it's a spoiler alert to say that both of them are having affairs, and then things come to pass about other siblings having affairs and the people that they're having affairs with. So there are some wonderful sex scenes in this, as always with Rebecca Chance. She knows how to write a good sex scene. She does write a very good bonkbuster. I highly recommend her novels if you're looking for something a little bit different, but that also always has a good storyline and plenty of strong women fighting against the patriarchy, which is always good. Yeah, there is a scene which could be a trigger warning for some people, which is like a role play scene, but it's a kind of role play scene involving rape, but it's not actual rape, they're role playing the rape. But it was quite distressing listening to it before I realized that they were role playing. So yeah, just a trigger warning for that. Yeah, so those are the books that I read this week. So I read 2,329 pages and 6 books. I was in the middle of listening to an audiobook at the start of the week, and I decided to let that go and come back to it after the week had finished so I could do complete books throughout the week. Yeah, I picked wrong books, and I'm always giving people advice on what books to pick in readathons, and I just didn't take my own advice. I was like, I want to read these books, so they must be good books for a readathon. But yeah, I picked long books, and I picked books I didn't know an awful lot about, and I think maybe some of the other books that were on my August TBR could have been better picks for the week. However, I still managed to get through. It was fun doing the reading sprints, it was fun doing the challenges, it was fun doing the Instagram posts. If you haven't seen those, my Instagram link is below. I will be back with another video on Wednesday for you, and then on Friday I will have my August wrap up, which I filmed in a slightly different way. So I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button so that video lands in your subscription feed. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on any of the books that I've read or the mistakes that I made this week, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog and wrap up. And yeah, I will see you with my next video soon.